Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? It's just been a fantastic morning. I tell you what, everything. Sorry about the volume there. Seems that everything I said yesterday pretty much turned out to be true, and I wouldn't help. I can't help saying I feel a little bit, justified, a little happy, a little snarky about it. I guess they made up this whole thing with the Pelosi thing. What are they doing? You know, they want to talk about MAGA Republicans being domestic terrorists. What's going on here? I mean, this is a whole different thing. I mean, we don't even really know. I don't think anybody knows what went on there. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around a lot of it. I mean, I'm not really. I'm just trying to figure out, the what's what, the who's who, because you've got the chief of police in San Francisco, right? Gets up there and does his press conference and says, this is what we got, blah, 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 blah. He specifically called the police arrival at the Pelosi residence and quote, a priority. He didn't call it a welfare check. I think he called it a wellness check. We all know that, most people know anyways, that a wellness check is something that you use to call somebody, to find out if somebody's okay, that you're worried about. Say it's somebody that say there's an elderly person in your life that you talk to once a week, and all of a sudden you don't hear from them, and they live by themselves, and you don't know anybody around. You're gonna, how long do you let it go? You got to call and find out, right? People don't call wellness checks in on themselves. And so that was the initial thing that comes out, right? So, Chief Scott gets up, Bill Scott, San Francisco PD, in front of the press, the country, and he reads his statement. Now, who's lying here? Somebody's not. Either people are being buffooned and buffaloed, and there's some grand puppet master out there pulling the strings, or somebody's lying. I mean, ultimately, somebody's lying. I mean, this dude that they got labeled as a right-wing MAGA Republican lives in a school bus. It's got a BLM flag up in front of it. He's a nudist. He's an illegal alien from Canada, drug addict, mentally ill, and lives in a bus. And he was in his underwear when the police showed up, and apparently that's when he smacked Paul Pelosi in the head with a hammer. Now, this is a big dude. This guy's big, right? I don't know if any of y'all have seen pictures of him. I can pull one up if you'd like, but this is a big dude. He's not a little man. Whether that means he's tough or not, I don't know. And I don't know about, all I know is that dude's 42 and Paul Pelosi's 82. That's a 40-year difference. It's just kind of a weird story. And then you look at the photos, the imagery of the French doors at the house. The glass is coming out. It's busted. It's busted like it's coming out. That dude was in his underwear. They were both in their underwear. It's 2:30 in the morning. What's going on here? Lovers quarrel, perhaps? Allegedly? I don't know. I didn't go so far as to say that yesterday. As I didn't want to put myself out there to get another fucking strike. But I think it's kind of funny, and it's been hilarious watching all these indignant assholes that are on the left side of things just lose their fucking ever-loving minds. I mean, they're absolutely losing it. Elon takes over their little propaganda fucking whatever you want, their platform, twatter. Anybody remember when that shit started? I remember it. I was bartending that night, and there was a guy that came in and sat down at the bar, and he's like got his phone out, I mean, we were just at that point, maybe like the first iPhone maybe had come out, I think. And he's sitting there, and he's kind of a techie guy. He's like, I just tweeted. I said, you did what? I said, man, if you're going to take credit for, farting or something, just to say you shit your pants, man. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean you just tweeted? What the hell is that? And he proceeds to inform me on what this new platform is. And I'm like, what? And he's like, well, yeah, you have 140 characters to just tell people what you're. I'm like, wait. I'm like, you think that are you so audacious as to think that somebody wants to read 140 characters about what you're doing right now? You're sitting at the fucking bar, dude. It was the most asinine thing to me. I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, this is the dumbest shit in the world. And now look, here we are. I was sounding off on that thing like crazy yesterday, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. And what's funny is that Musk put out a tweet yesterday that he ended up deleting, and he should probably go back and put it back out there because it seems like he was probably right on point. Now it's frustrating to me because I put my podcast out yesterday. I've been shadow banned. Everybody knows that. So with that in mind, if you're listening to this, do me a favor, hit the like button and it's subscribe. There's nothing in it that's going to be, there's no repercussions. I'm not going to send you a bunch of shitty emails or anything like that. I'm not going to ask you for money. But if you give me the thumbs up, all 2.3 of you out there, I tell you what, it certainly will help. Things were going well with this thing when I started it, and then I took the one that they banned me for a week because I cited a medical study from an accredited university regarding things with the you know what I'm talking about. And so I ate that 1 week, and then I came back and I got the Rona for the second time, and I explained my scenario with that one and what I did with that and my experience with it and what I did to get through it, and they gave me the 2-week ban. Now, come to find out, there was nothing wrong with anything that I said, and I mean, it's turned out that it is all accurate. It's all 100% true. I've yet to get an apology, and I'm half tempted at this point in time to change the name of my show and start a whole new channel, because to be this many episodes in and to get absolutely no viewership is just bullshit. I've put out so many stories that have been ahead of journalism, like mainstream media, the bigger YouTubers out there that have news channels that are pushing a million subscribers, getting huge viewership. They'll come out 2 days later than me with a story, and everybody's all of a sudden all over and it's like, dude, I said that like 2 days ago. I mean, that happened to me when I got banned too. I mean, they took my episode down, and it was the story about the university and the medical study that they'd put out, and they took it down. And 2 days later, it hit the news. So here I am, some jackass out here in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, and I'm coming out with things that these bigger people that have a staff, that have people taking care of all the stuff that I have to do. They don't have to worry about the production. They don't have to worry about anything. Like today, I hope this is coming through. I had to go to Streamlabs OBS because my OBS studio, they updated it, and without me even giving permission, and it just took a shit. So now I'm on Streamlabs OBS, which is more of I guess for these gamers. I don't know what's up with that. I'll probably get in trouble for talking about them too. God forbid you don't understand why anybody would think that other people want to watch them play video games. I mean, maybe it's the same thing with watching somebody else talk. I don't know, but we all seem to do that. So, I mean, it seems like when there's information, I suppose the video game streamers are giving out information though about video games. I don't know. That's kind of suspect. I don't get it. Why would you want? I mean, somebody fill me in on this. Come on, fill me in. Why do you want to watch some other person play a stupid video? I don't even want to play a video game. First of all, I always get these surveys that ask me what games I play on my phone, and I'm like, I don't play games on my phone unless they're silly games. but I don't play any games. And then it's like on the survey that it's like it short circuits it, that, like the AI can't figure out what's this guy. He doesn't play Candy Crush, or I don't even know what's cool now. What are you guys playing out there? Candy Crush, Solitaire, fucking Snake, Pong. Play some Pong. Play some real Pong. Beat your ass like Forrest Gump in real Pong. Better believe that. I had a buddy out here a couple of years ago that had a table in his house, and he was always on me about, we'd like go to the bar and stuff, or be out playing golf, and be like, come over to the house, we'll play Pong, man. Oh, nah. Finally one night he talked me into it, and he thought, and I didn't say nothing. He thought for sure that he never beat me, not once. I hadn't played that stupid game since like college. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But if they had Pong on the iPhone, they probably do. I wouldn't play that. What a waste of time. Not when I've got places to go ride and, other shit to do. Sit here and fight with computers all day. But anyway, so the Pelosi thing, right? So it turns out that the dude is in there in his underwear. Allegedly, the police show up. They see the two men inside. There's a struggle going on for the hammer. This dippity-doo apparently, pulls the hammer back and does the little bunny foo-foo and hits Pelosi on top of the head and fractures his skull. Now, here's how their story goes, all right? Here's what they're saying. Okay, the guy breaks in, right? And he goes upstairs and he finds Pelosi in bed. When do his pants come off? When does he decide that? He comes in and he's yelling, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" He gets Pelosi out of bed. Here's how the story. This is what they came out with. Okay. There's an elevator in the house, right? It's not a huge house. I guess it's like 7 bedrooms is what I can find on there. It's kind of like on the corner in Pacific Heights. It's a taller house, brick, probably, like a Queen Anne Victorian home. So what they say is that Pelosi asked, he wanted to get in the elevator, and there's a phone in the elevator. The dude sees that, says no. So he marches him downstairs. At which point Pelosi asks if he can use the bathroom. The dude lets him use the bathroom. He goes in there and he calls from his cell phone in the bathroom. This is one of the stories, right? This is from a major news network. Now, here's the problem. Why not just lock yourself in the bathroom? Okay? I've worked on these homes. There's a bunch of them just like it up in Seattle. There's homes here like that. I bet it's a late 1800s house. I guarantee we're talking solid wood core doors. Okay? Even if homeboy's out there and he's got his hammer and he happens to do a Jack Nicholson, here's Johnny from The Shining and bash a hole through and stick his head through and look at Pelosi, he's still not getting through. This dude's huge. Maybe he tries to kick the door in. Has anybody ever actually tried to kick a door in, though? A nudist, drug addict, illegal Canadian immigrant that lives in a school bus, no matter how big he is, I don't think he's going to have a good time kicking a door in. I wouldn't try and kick a door in. No way. You know what I do? If I can't get in a door, I have a set of these. Get you in any door, any lock, anything you want. Do I use it for nefarious deeds? No. I do it because I've got locks on everything. Because I've had so much shit stolen from me that I just lock everything up, and sometimes I'll leave a key somewhere and I got to get into a room or whatever. But not nefarious. But anyways, I digress. So they go downstairs. Pelosi allegedly goes in the bathroom. He calls 911. Now, there's one story that he just had the phone on in front of the guy, and he was making comments about, what do you plan on doing to me, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was kind of like putting it all out there. And the dispatcher heard that, and they said, "Oh, it was the genius of the dispatcher realized this and realized he was in trouble." Well, how is that a wellness check? This is a burglary in progress, right? This is a B&E in progress. Okay. So when the chief of police comes up and gives his statement about the whole thing, it says that it's a priority, wellness check, or however it was phrased. It was similar to that. I'm not direct quoting that. It was a priority though, as in level A. Now, what's a B priority? What's a C priority? The police were there in 2 minutes. Do you think they're going to show up in San Francisco for anybody else within 2 minutes? I highly doubt it. It means they're close by. Of course, this is Pacific Heights. This is it's an upper echelon neighborhood. I guess if there is one in San Francisco anymore. The other thing is, though, that they have cameras, okay? That house has been vandalized. The garage door's been spray painted. They left a pig's head out there and dumped a bunch of fake blood out there. It looked like red paint. Spray painted all over the garage. They've done a number of different things where they've vandalized the Pelosi's house. So 82-year-old Paul, who's been in the news and has a lot of people that aren't too happy with him right now. As a matter of fact, like Jesse Waters on Fox, I mean, he kind of, it was every day he was going after that story. I went after it. I wrote an article about it and got to the bottom of it and figured out what had gone on and left it at that. But I mean, when this hit with this thing with him, Friday night or whatever, Friday early morning, I guess it was, Waters was on there again losing his mind. I mean, there's people like that out there that are just not big fans of his. I'm not a big fan of his, but I don't know the man. I know that he was, glug, glug, vroom, vrooming right after he got off his probation from his last one. And that, he pulled out in front of Jesus Lopez, who hopefully is all right. Nobody's heard anything about him, I mean, when they were interviewing him, he's a Spanish speaker. That's neither here nor there. Everybody made the speculation that meant he was a migrant worker. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. It doesn't matter. The guy's driving down the highway. He's following the traffic laws, and this dude is in his fucking Porsche, and he, pulls out in front of him. There was talk that there was another passenger in that vehicle, allegedly. Again, nothing that I'm sitting here saying was true. But it makes me wonder, was there somebody else at that home? Because I've never heard of somebody calling a welfare check on themselves. And I don't believe the chief of police would have called it as such, were that to happen. And the other thing that they said that he told them, and this is a live call that I listened to earlier today. I will verify this, unless somebody was making this up, but I did find a patch that was it was an interagency call within the San Francisco Police Department, and it was basically said there's a man in the home, and they said PR, which would be the person, the party respondent or whatever that stand. It basically talking about at that point Pelosi apparently, but said that his name is David and he is a friend. So, was that call made from the bathroom? Was the call made from in front of this guy? What the fuck? The dude's in his both men are in their underwear. Now, it's also alleged that Paul Pelosi might be a part of a certain community in San Francisco. I'm not saying this is a fact or anything like that. However, it certainly seems odd. And Nancy's not there. And they said the guy had zip ties and another hammer with him. Well, maybe he had the zip ties for something else. Because why the hell were his pants off? And then allegedly what he told the police was he was going to break her kneecaps or something like that. So, I mean, you don't need zip ties to do that. You've got two 82-year-old people, and this dude's like a 6'6", 6'7". This guy's big. I'll see if I can find a picture of him. He's a big dude. Like he's like, they've got pictures of him downtown in San Francisco, right? Like his ex-old lady, who's in prison right now for abducting a 14-year-old. And who apparently worked in childcare. Okay, so this also leads me to believe that something's seriously off. Okay, she's in prison for abducting a 14-year-old boy from near his home in Berkeley, which, if you're familiar with the Bay Area, it's right there. But apparently she worked in childcare, and the media was right on her, getting quotes from her and shit out of the prison, and using her as like some kind of a credible source. Well, she got married downtown to some squirrely looking dude, and it was a nude wedding, because these people are Castro nudists. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's these nudists that, we're talking about San Francisco, and, if anybody in this, I don't need to get into the whole thing. If you know, you know. If not, look it up. You can figure it out quick enough. So, homeboy, he's DePape. He's filming this thing, and there's a picture of him, and he's like holding hands with supposedly this is the mother of his children, and he's holding hands with her and this little squirrely hippie looking guy that's got shit written all over there, buck ass naked, standing on the street. Apparently they got arrested for it because it was indecent exposure right downtown. Yeah, you don't need my location to show me some stupid pictures. Sorry, I'm just talking to the other monitor. I'm just trying to show y'all a picture of this cat, just so you see how actually big this dude is. He's a big boy. There's no way that I don't think that 82-year-old Paul Pelosi is fighting him off on that hammer deal. I think if this guy wants to smack him upside the head with it, he's going to do it. And it's not going to, here, okay, this is a great one. Let's see if we can get this to come up a little bit bigger here. A little bit louder now. Oh, this is the San Francisco Chronicle. We're not going to let you look at this. I love that. Then want your money. All right, oh yeah, here we go. Is this going to be the same stupid thing? Yep. Well, everybody wants something, don't they? Let's get rid of this San Francisco Chronicle BS. I know I can find another picture of this cat somewhere here. There's one off a twatter. Okay, let's see if I can zoom in on this, and I'll pull it up for everybody to see. Maybe. Looks like it might just be getting a tweet. All right, give me just a second here. Real professional here, huh? Okay, as we can see, I'm trying to zoom in on this here. Okay, so, there it goes. The big guy right there in the back, that's the dude. Okay, this is the guy right here. This guy. I mean, he towers. He's a full head over everybody, right? I mean, he's big. He's a big dude. It's neither here nor there. But at 42, when Pelosi is 82, it just seems like a pretty odd scenario. And I mean, it's kind of weird that I'm calling it out yesterday and no one's saying anything. Now I hear from these lefties, they're all, this is January 6th, MAGA Republicans. This is going to stop. Well, what about the lunatic that shot Steve Scalise? What about, what about people like that? Nobody came out and said just because that guy was a Bernie supporter that every Bernie supporter was going to go out and shoot a bunch of Republicans. I mean, these people, yeah, here's where he lives, right? You can see that. Here's where he lives. This is the guy's house, okay? And that's a nice looking place, huh? I mean, there could be worse. But this is where he lives in. All right? 1526, I don't know what street that is. It looks like there's, I don't know what's written on. I don't know, it's hard to say. No, I lost it. Well, anyway, he'd been mentally ill for a long time. There's a picture of his nudist old lady who's locked up. Her name's Gypsy, or also Oxane Taub, Oxane, like octane, but with an X instead of a CT. Let's see. Said she is known accused maniac David DePape for more than 20 years and is the mother of his children. So they've had kids together, right? He's mentally ill. He has been mentally ill for a long time. Taub told ABC7 in a call from the California Institution for Women, where she is serving time after being convicted last year of abducting a 14-year-old boy near his Berkeley High School. So she abducted a boy that was the same age as my son that's great. What's behind that? What's the story there? Who's the 14-year-old boy? I mean, she ain't necessarily right either, but yet they're using her. This is who they're using as a credible somebody as a credible source. I don't know. That seems a little bit sketchy at best to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think. I mean, sure, maybe you want to talk to somebody like that because of their involvement with a said individual, but the whole thing stinks. Was basically what it's coming down to. The whole thing is just stupid, you know? What are they trying to do? What's going on here? There's always something behind, you know. There's no such thing as coincidence, folks. And I tell this to people all the time. You have anomalies, okay? You have a weird thing that happens. Or a weird, you know, character or some kind of weird component to a story. Something that's like, oh, that's kind of odd. But when it snowballs, like with this shit, when it just keeps, you know, getting big, I mean, it's not coincidence. None of this is. These two dudes, they knew each other. This dude's in there in his underwear. I mean, if he's going in there to break knees, he's not, I mean, what did he do? Break in the house and take his pants off? I mean, let's be honest. I don't think anybody's going in there and trying to get down with Nancy Pelosi. I think he was in the house for quite some time. That's my guess, allegedly. I don't know. It doesn't make. Has anybody ever heard of a story like this? They come in and there's two dudes, and then for Pelosi to have allegedly said that he knew his name and he's a friend, and then he allegedly went in the bathroom to make the call. Now why would he want to use the phone in the elevator if he already had his cell phone on him? So he's carrying his cell phone. So DePape can see that, right? Unless he's an idiot, which he very well could be, but all those pictures, he looks pretty disjointed and out there. They say he's on drugs, and who knows what he's on. He could be on psychotropics or any number of Kellogg's variety pack. But the whole thing just doesn't make sense. You go and you take your pants off, and you go up and you find an 82-year-old man. I mean, when he realizes that she's not there, wouldn't you just leave, or is he all in? Like, did he? I mean, at that point, is he just he's in it to win it? Because at that point, you think he just does Pelosi in. I mean, how come it is that nothing happens with the hammer? At least that's the way I read it, and that's what I get from everybody's take on it. Even the prosecuting attorney, that's the story she gave. I mean, so why hadn't he hit him in the head yet until the police show up? So the police show up. He knows at that point, I mean, it's game over. What good does it do to do the little bunny foo-foo and wang down on Pelosi's head? And looking at the size of this dude, he was probably quite a bit taller than him. Definitely bigger than him. Definitely stronger than him. Even if he does live in a fucking old school bus and shit, you know? Just weird. You know, the guy apparently has been posting goofy shit on the internet for years. I don't even know how he has internet. I guess everybody probably gets it for free in San Francisco. He probably got a free phone and everything else. I don't know. The whole thing's stupid. It's but it's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out. It's just kind of funny that it was 3 months to the day. It was August 28th that Pelosi got the DUI, and October 28th that this happened. So exactly 3 months to the day. And when he got the DUI, I think he'd been off probation from the previous one for only like 3 months. So he had the same attorney. He got the 2 charges that could have possibly put him in prison for causing bodily injury behind a DUI. Those got dismissed. He didn't even show up in court. His attorney filed form, or she went in and appeared Form 977. And he did a plea agreement and got it knocked down to a reckless driving with alcohol involved. I've never heard of such a charge. If there's alcohol involved, isn't it? I mean, that's a DUI, right? Only in California. Only in California. And it makes me wonder, too, what kind of, I mean, obviously, when they asked for his identification at the DUI, the most recent one, on August 28th, Pelosi pulled out his platinum donor card to show to the CHP officer, and that denotes that he's donated over $100,000 that year to the CHP. So it makes me wonder how much have they donated to the SFPD. Now they have security people there too. They have cameras outside because the place has been vandalized. So there's cameras everywhere. They have a security system. I'm positive Nancy Pelosi, regardless of how moronic and stupid and idiotic she is, and senile, and I mean, she's just as goofy as Biden, but she's the 3rd most powerful person in the country. She's the 3rd in the line of succession to the president. You don't think there's security at that house? That's in San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the worst cities on the planet right now, as far as crime and people shitting on. They have poop patrol, for Christ's sake. The city of San Francisco pays people to pick up human excrement. This is where we're at, folks. It doesn't matter if they're in a nice neighborhood. Obviously they've gotten to them a couple of times. There was something they did where apparently they hung a bunch of hair dryers or something up there. I don't know what that was supposed to signify. I saw another one where they had like taped black bags all over everything. There was another one where there was a pig's head laying in the driveway with red paint, and they'd spray painted a bunch of shit all over the door. So it's not like this is the first incident. They interviewed a guy that he's private security that drives around the place. Where was he at? You know that the police were close, but they got there in 2 minutes. Okay, show me a place in San Francisco where something's gone down in the last number of years since the COVID, where police have responded to a call in San Francisco in 2 minutes. If it was a homeless man, he wouldn't be there in 2 minutes. They probably wouldn't even show up. And I wouldn't blame them for not showing up out there. I mean, you go and watch these, these flash rob, not a flash mob, but a flash rob. Those videos that they're pulling, I mean, just going in right down Union Square, smashing, grabbing. Cops are just watching. I mean, why would they arrest somebody when they're just going to get right back out of jail? I mean, it's just like these assholes in New York City. I mean, nobody's saying anything about the fact that guy drove all the way from California to try and murder Brett Kavanaugh, or that Lee Zeldin, some idiot, rushed this. Have you seen any Republican people jump on a stage when a Democrat candidate is giving a speech and try and physically attack them? I mean, have any Republicans showed up at a Democrat softball game and shot the place up? I've not seen that happen. Did Republicans burn down, every city in this country during the Summer of Love Part 2? I guess nobody remembers the Summer of Love Part 1, when everybody ended up with some form of venereal disease of one sort or another. 18 different kinds of clap out there. Free love. Yeah, free, all right. A lot of herpes came out of that one. And other... Ugh. I can only imagine the smell in San Francisco. Funny though, that was San Francisco too. I bet that was some. I bet that Haight-Ashbury smelled awful back then. It smells awful every time I've been there. I think the last time I was there though was in '08, so it's been a minute. We used to like going out there, but I don't have any desire to right now. I'm pretty happy being right here in Coyote, Wyoming. It's a pretty decent place to be. Because I'm gonna hang up the mic here, and guess what? I'm gonna go out the back door and jump on my bike, and I'm gonna be out in the middle of nowhere in a matter of minutes. Nobody around. Probably jamming some I don't know what, something in my earphones. Maybe we'll do some Parkway Drive today or something like that. Maybe some Mastodon. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. This is just crazy. It's like, what was the motivation in this whole thing? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, even if this guy's out of his mind, even if he said he was Jesus, he said he was Jesus. Well, if he's Jesus, Jesus never hit anybody in the head with a hammer. He just, hit nails. And by the way, I thought it was kind of funny, the joke I made yesterday about semi-automatic hammers, assault hammers, and the need to put a ban on the assault hammers because these crazy people could just go to Home Depot and get one anytime they want with plenty of nails and everything else. I don't know if anybody else thought that was funny, but, I did, so I guess I'm going to laugh at my own joke, or whatever. You got to amuse yourself, right? Anyways. That's all for now, I guess. Oh, you know what else? What's going on with anybody from Pennsylvania? Want to say what's going on with your state, Pennsylvania? What's happening out there? You got a TV doctor running against a guy that can't speak. Now, a guy that lived off his parents for pretty much his whole life. How did he ever get to be lieutenant governor of your state, people? Because, he's not, he's definitely got some cognitive problems right now. I mean, and hey, I feel bad for the guy. I hope he recovers. I don't wish him anything ill. But he's obviously not fit to serve. And you've got a guy, Dr. Oz, that's running second behind this dude that just wears sweatpants and he looks like Sloth from Goonies. And he can't speak in sentences and he can't comprehend. And the poor lady from MSDNC that interviews him, she comes out and says, yeah, it was very difficult talking to him. And she gets lambasted by his wife. And what's going on with this shit with these dudes' wives? You got Joe Biden's wife as his wrangler, which he needs a handler of some sort. I mean, the dude needs to just go away, and this Department of Justice, these guys, what a bunch of eggheads. You watch these, when they bring him in and Ted Cruz is asking them questions, Josh Hawley's asking questions, Matt Gaetz is asking questions, and Ron Johnson and Grassley and all these guys are like, what the fuck is going on here? They're like, you told us that we were purveying Russian misinformation, and even the Washington Post had to come out and admit that the laptop was real, but yet the only thing that they're looking at, and this was known anyways with the whole Hunter Biden thing, that probably the only indictment they were going to get on him was going to be for tax evasion and then the thing about lying for the gun. Nothing else, So they're going to do it's going to be a little goat and pony show. Hunty won't do any time. They're not going to get to the bottom of Joe taking millions from the Chinese. They're not going to delve into any of this shit because, by God, there's the bad orange man out there. The bad orange man who just wants to, make things affordable for everybody. Make sure people are working. Bring jobs back to the country. Get rid of the nonsense that's going on out there, all this bullshit with our education system is just a mess. The whole country's a mess, I mean, arrogance is synonymous with stupidity. And that's all I see. I see a bunch of stupid people and they're too damn arrogant to even realize it. I know I'm an idiot. I don't have any qualms with it, admitting that. But these people, that Joe Biden will never take responsibility for a thing. His son won't take responsibility for a thing. None of them will. Kamala won't take responsibility for. None of them will take responsibility. They pass the buck. They do whatever they can to maintain their power, what little they do have. And if we only realized what little power they did have, it would be a whole different story. But we're dumb too, because we don't do anything about it. Which is why I'm always saying, I always leave every tweet with #walkaway. I try and put that hashtag on anything I put out there, just because that's my point of view on it. Is like, walk away from it. What if we were all to just walk away? I'm not talking about violence or anything of the sort like that. I don't believe in it. I don't condone it. I'm not behind it at all. But if we were to just walk away, what if we just walked away? If we have, I don't know how many people in the country right now, because we don't know how many people that are undocumented that have come over, but 340 million. And compared to that, there's a handful of these people that are calling the shots. Even if they get 87,000 fucking stupid IRS agents that are now going to be carrying guns, and don't watch those videos because those will freak out. They're going to end up shooting one of themselves or somebody else. That's all you need is a bunch of accountants out there carrying firearms. But even at 87,000 of them, it doesn't really matter. Are they going to arrest the whole country? Are they going to put everybody in jail? If everybody just said, fuck you, we're going to do our thing. We're going to go drill oil. We know how to do that. We're going to go and we're going to start innovating, and we're going to build factories. We're going to start doing what we need to do. We're going to quit, feeding everybody full of these fucking goddamn radioactive, cancer-causing fucking, bullshit chemicals that they spray on and inject in everything. Go back to the way things used to be. I remember, growing up, going to my great grandmother's house, and that her and my great grandfather, they had a farm, and everything you ate there was, it came from not only the work of their hands, but it came from their land as well. And there wasn't pesticides and chemicals and bullshit in any of it, And it was good food. I remember as a kid, it was really good stuff. I always loved going down there. Talk about farm, talk about a farmhouse meal. That's lost. It's lost. And even when you go to the grocery store, if you could afford to buy anything that's organic, the only thing that they have to do is just have one organic ingredient in whatever it is, and then they can claim it's organic and jack the price up. I bought a pack of 18 eggs last night for $6.29. Before Biden, I was buying the box of 60 eggs for like $7, 5 dozen for $7, whereas I got a dozen and a half for $6.30 plus tax. So damn near $7. Not even good eggs either. It's all they had, I like grapefruit juice. They haven't had that in forever. Finally, they had some last night, but not many. I bought two jugs of that. It used to be $2.69 a piece. Now the jug, it's like pushing $5. Everything's pretty much doubled. And then you got Onion Head get them there saying that our economy is stronger than hell, as he shits himself and wanders around on stage, can't figure out where he's going, shaking hands with ghosts, staggering, and then yelling crazy, get off my lawn type shit. That's what 81 million of you voted for that, I guess, allegedly. I hope you're happy if that's the case. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of stupid people out there though right now, and that's dangerous. And it's not it's coming from it's the left side of things. These people are unhinged. They want to sit there and talk about how MAGA Republicans are domestic terror. Come on. It's nonsense. Show me an example. Where's this happened? You want to use fucking, you want to use Virginia as an example? Those are fucking Nazis, for fuck's sake. Just because somebody who's fucked up, decides to take on, take the back of somebody doesn't mean that that's who they are, I mean, the people that voted for Trump are not, I mean, you're going to have bad people in every group, folks. That's the way it goes. That's just life. It doesn't matter what religion, what color. It doesn't matter. You're going to have people that are, fucked up. But when you sit there and you take those people and then you take everybody that has a similarity and you lump them all into the same group, that's just crazy. The whole thing that happened on January 6th, now they're trying to say that's what this whole thing with Pelosi is about. And it obviously is not. It's obviously not. But if you're listening to CNN and MSDNC and all these fucking idiots watching these whiny, snivelly jerk-offs sit there and cry, it's the same idiots that are crying about twatter. I mean, come on. Really? Do words really hurt you that badly? What's anybody saying on there that's, I mean, did they mispronoun you? Oh, honey. I mean, come on. All these people, these Hollywood fucking celebrities, whatever, threatening to leave. Good, go. Who cares? It's Twitter. I hate the thing because I can't sum everything up in 140 characters because there's more to say than that. Musk is saying, well, you're going to have to pay $20 for your blue check mark. Good. If you get a blue check mark, you can afford the 20 fucking bucks. What you ought to do is make them give the $20 to a goddamn, a local fucking, homeless shelter or soup kitchen or something like that. If you want a blue check, guess what? Every month you got to take a couple cases of soup down to the fucking soup kitchen or do something. Some blankets or do something to help the homeless out. How about that? These elitist motherfuckers that live in these huge homes and fucking live these elegant lifestyles and get behind, things like this fucking stupid ass war in Ukraine and all these other dumbass things, and they can't even take care of the fucking person up the street from them. That's what's fucking pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic, and it's really unforgivable, quite frankly. You don't hear anything about these issues. We have problems going on in our backyard that are not being addressed, that are not being taken care of. And it's really a shitty deal. I mean, in my mind, homelessness and violence are the things that should be in the forefront of everything, and education. And I'm talking about like a real education. I'm not talking about this bullshit that our kids get, because what they get in school, and I'm not coming down on teachers because I know a lot of teachers, and I know that you come out of school and you're hyped, you're ready to go, you want to make a difference in kids' lives, and you really do like kids. You obviously chose that profession for a reason, and you get out there and you get beat down by the system. And I can understand where the complacency comes from, and where it how it ends up like that, where you're just going through the motions because you get beat. I mean, it's just like anybody in any fucking shitty cheese job. You have all these expectations of what you're going to be able to do in this and that, and how you're going to make a difference, and then you realize, no, you're not. You're just going to get your ass kicked every day, in and out, and regardless of how hard you try, it's just, it's like the Slightly Stoopid song, It's just, no matter how hard you try, the harder you try, the less you succeed. Don't try at all and get everything you need. Or it's like Bukowski, don't try. Now you have to look into that a little further. It doesn't mean just don't try, but there's a larger meaning behind that, and I would encourage you to look at Bukowski and read up on him and figure that out, because it actually is kind of inspiring. Excuse me. Anyhow, I've babbled long enough. Hopefully this went out there. Hopefully it didn't suck. If it did, I'm not sorry, because I'm just going to come back and try and do it again if it did. If it came through, do me a favor, let me know. I would love to hear about that. And as I said, if you can hit the like button and subscribe, that's a big help. Because if not, then I might be changing the name of everything and just starting it all over, because there's no doubt that I've, I've been shadow banned, and that's fine. You know, I mean, I'd rather speak the truth. I'm not going to be one of these people that's just going to sit there and cower. And, you know, I mean, I've had to learn how to start saying allegedly where I need to and this and that and the other thing and go about it a little bit different than I did at first. I guess I was being a little bit cavalier about everything when I first started. I just didn't understand what the ramifications were going to be. But I don't really care either. What are they going to do? Take away my YouTube? I mean, who cares? Anyway, I'm also on Rumble. I'm on Spotify. Check out the show on Spotify. If you're out there driving around, you want to listen to me babble for a while, check it out. It's on there. You can get video on Spotify now, not just the spoken word. It's on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any place that Anchor.fm runs with, it's on. Where else? Facebook Live. I think it's been going on Twitch too. All you Twitchers out there. I don't even know what that is, but apparently it's more of that gaming stuff. I don't know. I just ran into a ton of people that are like, yeah, you get on Twitch. I'm like, okay. Like that dude off, that tweak off South Park. Anyway, I'm out 52 miles east of Jellystone Park in Coyote, Wyoming. Be good or be good at it. In all things, be kind and do no harm. And here we go.